just one that's just as good in the future. Vanilla WoW is a good role model for that, I think. I mean, yeah, TBC and Wrath, they were good too. But I think there was, in my opinion, there were step downs from Vanilla WoW, just slightly. The main thing I didn't like about TBC was the fact that it made the old world like obsolete. Like there was no reason to even be in the old world anymore, like Azeroth and Kalimdor, because all the action was in Outland. There's no, and Outland had its own city, so there's no reason to even go in the old world again. It was just like gone. That was the only thing I didn't like about TBC, but Outland itself, that was awesome. Like they did great work on the zones for that and everything, but it just made like all the old content like obsolete. Like there's no reason to even go back and do anything in the old world. Yeah, Tan Mitties. Yeah, I get my mount in the mid 40s, and most of it's from purely raw quest and gold and stuff. Yeah, but I usually had to borrow like 20 gold from players. Like almost every run that I did in the past, I had to borrow like 20, even more, sometimes even more than 20 gold in order to buy my mount in the mid 40s. Like I would skip looting mobs, I would skip doing professions. So money becomes an issue as a speed leveler because of like not looting mobs and skipping professions. So like I am forced to borrow money from players, and then I tell them I will pay them back in double after I hit level 60. So yeah, after I hit level 60, I'm probably going to be. I might have to take a whole day and just grind mobs just to gain my money back, to pay people back. But actually, from what I remember, I was able to pay players back even before I hit level 60. Like I would be like in the 50s and gain my money back, and then be able to pay all the people that loaned me money earlier, even before I hit level 60. How much time does getting the mount save? Well, I think that depends also what class you are. Like if you're a class that's not a hunter, because with hunter you have aspect of the cheetah, and also say if you're like a druid, you also have like the travel form or the cat form, which will increase your movement speed. Also, some other classes have movement speed abilities too. But like if you're a class that doesn't have a movement speed ability, then not having a mount will really affect your playtime. But if you're like, say if you're a hunter with aspect of the cheetah, it won't affect your playtime as much. Aspects of the cheetah with talent upgrade is like, I think it's like 38% faster, which is still a pretty good amount of time. And yeah, aspect of the cheetah is faster for the first 25 seconds than using them, then mounting up with a mount and then moving. Any recommendations on Alliance leveling guide? Well, I have Alliance leveling guide. I have my own Alliance leveling guide, and the 45 to 60 will be ready on Tuesday, in just like a couple days from now. I don't really know any other Alliance leveling guide besides the old Brian Kopp Alliance leveling guide, but that's kind of outdated now. Yo, Zerby, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. An alternative to STV? Well, it depends on what level you are. The thing with STV is that you're going to STV at multiple times throughout the game. Like you go to STV at level 30 and 31 to do the Nezingwari expedition hunting quest, and then you return to STV at level 34 to do those troll quests and to do some more Nezingwari quests, and then you go back again at like level 38 to do more quests in Booty Bay and stuff, and then you go again at level 42, and then finally again at level 47. So yeah, I mean there are alternatives that you could do, but if you skip STV, then your need to grind on mobs increases unless you're going to be doing dungeons, like dungeon runs instead. I mean, that would be the best alternative to STV is just go do dungeons. Especially if you're trying to avoid PvP. Yo, Birdsack, thanks for a Twitch Prime sub. Also, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to use the restroom. I'll be back in like a minute or two.
How? We shall meet.
Alrighty. Any suggestions for a warrior? Well, my 1 to 60 horde leveling guide does include all the warrior steps from 1 to 60, but also I'm not really an expert at warriors. Like I never personally got a warrior to level 60, so I'm not like the one to ask for like tips and tricks on that. Add-ons for Classic WoW. Go to willatclassic.com and you'll be able to find all the add-ons. All the add-ons I use are the ones listed with my bot command add-ons. Skinning, yeah, I mean skinning's worth it if you're a casual player, or if you don't plan on borrowing money, then yeah, skinning is the alternative to borrowing money. I mean that's just how I look at it. Like without actually borrowing money in the game, then you're gonna have a really hard time trying to get all your gold for your mount. So like just get skinning and mining if you don't plan on borrowing money. Borrowing money is kind of a dirty way to go about it, but it does work. It's worked on every single run that I've ever did in Vanilla WoW. You're usually able to borrow like 20 gold or more. I mean, even back in the day, like I was like 10 levels above everybody else, and I was able to borrow like enough money from like multiple people to get over 20 gold. Like it did work every single time. I mean, I did have some issues in some of the runs. Like some people only had like a very little amount of gold to give me, so I had to ask like a large number of people. I mean, it was kind of a nuisance, but I was able to do it like every time. But like people were more willing to let me borrow the money because they knew I was actually trying to do a speed run and stuff, so that they were willing to help me out with that. But if you're like a casual player, that's gonna be kind of weird asking for money. That's why like skinning and mining is really like the ideal solution for most people to get extra money along the way. My add-on folder, well, I don't know if I'm gonna like distribute my folder. Just use the add-ons bot command to see what add-ons I'm using, and then just download them. Download the latest version. Yeah. 2 to 3 player leveling, yes, that's really effective, yeah. And Classic WoW duo leveling is a really good way to get through the game, especially if you're a slow solo leveler like rogues, paladins, and warriors. You benefit from being in a duo a lot more, say, than like a mage and a hunter and a druid. Begging for money invalidate my speed run. Well, I mean, the way that World of Warcraft works is that it is an online game with you're playing with other players. So like with new realms, there's like no rules. It's like get to 60 as fast as you can and do whatever you need to do to get there. So like I look at it as not really a problem or not cheating or anything like that. I mean, if you're like doing it on an existing realm, there may be rules for that. Like certain leaderboards for speedrunning Classic WoW will probably have certain rules to follow. And those rules would probably be like logging out of ends so you don't collect rested experience points. And not borrowing money from players and stuff, probably also. Why am I using questing instead of Classic Codex? What is Classic Codex? I actually never even heard of that. I don't know. I didn't know if that was better. Skipping the Barons at 10. Finishing sermons. Starting at Barons at 10. Oh, you mean instead of like the normal like level 12 or 13? I mean, I guess you could do that, but you're probably going to end up needing to grind more in the Barons, like just grinding on mobs to catch up. Or if you're planning on doing, say, like the Wailing Caverns, then that might make up for the extra time. Also, if you're like a rogue or a warrior that's not in a duo, the Barons at level 10 would probably be very harsh. You may want to consider going to like Silverpine Forest or something like that, from like levels 10 to 14 or something. One thing I would change in Classic, what would it be? Oh, that would be getting rid of rested experience points. That's probably what it would be. I mean, that interferes with speed running this game the most. I mean, a lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I'm not a fan of rested experience points because of that. Because of it hurts the speedrunning aspects of the game, basically. So that's probably what I would change. What's my favorite game other than WoW? Probably Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo. I played that game probably the most out of any game ever, like the most time put into. But I mean, I have like a lot of games. There's a lot of games I like to play. Like I have a huge list of games I like. But yeah, probably Castlevania 4 will probably be probably my favorite all-time game. Even though I played it to death, though, I played that game full time from 2013 to 2017, like 65 hours a week. Like full time. That's all I did. Just play that game. I played it way too much. Castlevania 64? No, I never played that. Super Castlevania 4. I played that full time from 2013 to 2017. That was like 65 hours a week. That was my job. Play that game every day. But I mean, even though that's my favorite game, I played the hell out of that game. That's all I did. Why was it my job? Because it was my full-time. Yeah, I was a streamer. I was streaming the game. I was doing speed runs through it and everything, and trying to entertain people while I was speed running it. And yeah, I treated it as a full-time endeavor for like 4 years straight. I went to, if you guys look below my stream description, you will see me at GDQs 3 times playing that game. I was invited to GDQ, Games Done Quick event, to play that game 3 times.
May the eternal sun shine.
Is duo leveling better than solo? Well, I mean, it depends on what class you're using, what class combinations. There's probably a lot of variables involved in that answer. Like, who knows? I think a hunter going solo is faster than any duo. I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I'd like to see someone prove me wrong on that. But like, I feel like no duo is going to be like a solo hunter. I think. But yeah, like any duo is probably going to be faster than, let's say, like a warrior going solo, or a rogue going solo, for example. It just depends on what combination you're talking about. Yo, Rage Star with 4 months in a row with Twitch Prime. How's it going, buddy? Rage Star is my in real life friend who lives right down the road from me. He's gonna be in my same guild on Classic Launch. Yo, Rage Star, are you there? Are you going to create your own guild, or are you gonna join a guild? What's going on, man? Yo, Slippinator with tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Yeah, Rage Star, I assume that we're just gonna join a guild, right? You're not gonna create a guild this time around, right? Because I remember back in vanilla days, you always created your guild. Yo, Sabrel with Twitch Prime sub, thank you. Oh, thanks a lot. Not sure. Probably, oh, you're probably gonna create one, huh? Whoa, yeah, it takes a lot of work to run a guild. Are you sure you're gonna be up for the task this time around? I mean, maybe you can handle it, possibly. I mean, you have experience doing that, right? You have a lot of experience running your own guild. So you might be able to do that, but I don't know. But whichever one, though, we can join the same guild, though. Who am I talking to? Oh, it's just random people. Like, people who text me in the game. It's usually just random people that are just texting me. There's, like, people are just randomly texting me just weird things, like calling me Chinese farmers or whatever. Yeah, Rage Star. Not quite sure if you should run your own guild. It does take a lot of work. We can just join our own. We can just join a guild or something.
Strength and honor. Strength.
Play this zoomed in. What do you mean by zoomed in? You mean like the camera zoomed in to my character rather than being zoomed out? I'm not really quite sure what you mean. We're playing the 4:3 aspect ratio. I did play a lot being zoomed into my character a lot. I don't know, for some reason I kind of like that, but like nowadays you're going to see me being more zoomed out so I can see more of the game world at once. I think it's a little bit more efficient to do that. But yeah, back in the day though, like CRT monitors was pretty much the normal thing back in 2004. And those were all like 4:3 aspect ratio. Yes, I'm talking live right now, yeah. I'm actually responding to the questions in the chat as they're happening, yep. It's also, this is the first time I've ever done commentary during this video. It's like I played this on Twitch I think 6 times before over the last year. This is like the 7th time, and there's gonna be one more time after this goes through. What professions do I recommend to make money while leveling? Just skinning and mining. Those seem to be the 2 best ones to make money. Enchanting costs way too much money. Enchanting will make you lose money. Depending on how you go about doing it, but for like the most part, enchanting really doesn't even become useful unless you put money into it. But enchanting is useful like after you hit level 60 or something. Yeah, actually herbalism is not that bad. I think that's like 3rd place as far as like making money for. It's not that bad, but I think skinning is like the best, and then mining, and then herbalism, and then I can't remember. I'm also not really an expert at professions since I've always skipped them. Like I've always just skipped them. I don't really. I guess when I first started playing WoW, back in vanilla days, I did try out all the professions. I did level them all up to like max level, but it's been so long though I can't really remember like how they went. I did remember that enchanting like drained all my money out. .240p. I think this was 360p